recommend that.
Yeah.
It needs to be done, because,
Well, how much do we have in a month that's the requisition, or is that what we're talking about?
well,
Okay, how much is in a month is not a
actually,
regular expenditure?
actually, you ought to keep a PO on every expenditure, whether it's electricity or what, so you got a backup and a paper trail.
You don't need to on recurring charges like electricity, water, gas, or whatever. You shouldn't have to have a PO for those.
Well, they're
I don't
not, they're
think
not
so.
really PO'd.
Or requisition.
Um,
I mean, you're gonna have those, on those recurring, the lawyer, the accounting, the electric,
But you
the
need to have-
water.
You need,
Those are recurring charges, and we have probably either a contract with the lawyer or in the accountant at such a rate for such a month, and that's your requisition, that's your PO, that's what it is.
well,
So you
what
don't
I
need to
ran
do
into
those.
here, Vivian, was check stubs were not attached to invoices. They were
Yeah.
just thrown in there, scattered, mixed up, and I
Mhm.
spent time going through that and stapling, trying to match up
Right.
check
Okay.
stubs to invoices, and that needs to be,
That
Yeah.
needs to, yes, it does, but having another piece of paper,
Well-
if you continue doing it that way, having another piece of paper in there won't
Okay,
matter,
well.
so. But mine's just, my question is, how much do we have that is not a recurring charge each month that the requisition would benefit us?
well, you'd have any type of road work,
Okay?
okay? You would have
And,
any type of supplies bought, okay?
And that's where that would come in handy.
But
And
how
because-
much, how many
yeah,
times
yeah.
do we have that? Is
Well,
what
I don't know
Once
the
a year,
paper.
once a year we do road work, or?
Well, you might have repairs along, you could have tin horns be put in, you could have driveways, I mean, that could depend,
Yeah,
okay? So I
Yeah.
I can't give you a definite answer on it, but I mean, I think you'd have it more than once, okay?
yeah.
And it wouldn't be a big deal, but it's still, you need to have a record so you can trace all this stuff.
But that's just another piece of paper to keep up with, is what I'm saying.
Well-
And if you're not keeping up with, I'm sure Sarah's doing a much better job, and she's doing it probably correctly. But it's another piece.
Let me ask you this, okay, in a month's time, when you get ready
Yeah.
to pay bills and stuff, you've got, what bills do you have? You've got electric, you've got, well, trash every 3 months.
Trash is yearly here.
Is it yearly? Okay, so what do you got, for, in a month's worth of bills?
The
What do you have?
only checks there are now, because everything else is on auto pay, that's electricity, water,
Mhm.
And what do you,
all that's on auto
what
pay.
all do you have on auto pay? Electric, water?
Electric, water, the credit card, the
Phone?
phone, yeah,
Okay.
the internet.
Internet?
Okay.
Okay, so out of that, okay, so what do you actually end up writing checks for?
A credit card ought to be kept up with, and
So-
that one you need to
Yeah.
have though.
Yeah, I would think.
This month,
You don't want
the only
credit cards
checks
on
that I
auto
have are for the accounting people, the attorney, and there was one other one that she was gonna have to write. I think it was for the MCAD, the appraisal district.
Mhm.
Okay. And then that's it, so you've got, they're signing, say, 3 checks, maybe 4 or 5
Yeah.
a month? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's why I'm saying, do we really
Well-
need another piece of paper if that's all the,
Well-
because the accounting and the legal is reoccurring. You know how much it's going to
You've got,
be.
well, with legal and stuff right now, you've got extra because of that lawsuit.
Yeah, so there was one, smaller extra check,
Was there
the other month.
Was there a check paid towards legal stuff that came out of 24, 25 stuff? Because I know there was a $2,500 one, and last month was like 4,000. I remember those from the meeting. Has there been any others for legal, or towards these lawsuits?
I'd have to look. I don't know off the top of my head.
I didn't find anything in there, is the reason I'm asking.
If it's not there, then it wasn't, at least I can say, you know, from May forward, or June forward, I don't,
I can see the electric, the water, and, the phone, I can see, and even the internet, because that's usually a set cost every single month. You shouldn't have any extra. Now, the electric bill you might, depending on, you know, the summer months usually have a lot more, but like the credit card, that thing shouldn't be on auto pay. That thing should
No.
be reconciled every single month to make sure that you're not getting charged on there for things that you're not supposed to be getting charged on there for.
I mean,
That-
I do look at it.
I know, but it's not good to have something like that on auto pay, I would not think. I would think that you
I guess
would need to have that thing,
The issues they were having before is that the time between like getting the statement and then having to wait until the meeting for the check, and then having to get the check signed and then mailing the check off, they ended up with a lot of late credit card
Fees.
payments
Okay.
that
So,
I'm.
yeah, but the way you got it set
but
up
you
now.
reconcile the credit
I-
card
I-
when you attach the receipts and,
Yeah, oh yeah,
okay, so
I can pull out
you're doing it, but
every
it's after the
single
fact,
statement
yeah.
that has every single receipt that I have
So
spent
you've got every
anything on
single
that credit
receipt, you've
card.
got every single receipt for every credit card
Yes.
statement in those folders.
Yes, that I have handled, yes,
Handled.
I do,
that
That
she
you've handled.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, I can't go back in time and,
No, but I'm still
Fix
telling you that
anything
it's
she
not,
did.
that credit card's not, that's something.
But I understand why it's done now, when you say it's a timing thing with the meeting and getting it approved
Yeah.
and
The-
And,
then,
and then
and
the
the only
other,
thing that gets spent on that credit card is basically Office Depot and sometimes getting water for the fridge.
Well,
'Cause
see,
I
we
know-
used to have an account set up at Office Depot where we went down and charged stuff, they sent us a bill every month.
Mhm.
And that was done away with. We had one over at West Hardware when we bought stuff over there, that they had a charge account, and we had to turn a PO into them to get it.
has like the, do you keep all the credit cards
They're in that,
up
Yeah.
here? Okay,
and there's even the log down.
okay, is it, okay.
I'll say this to y'all, I think you need one of these for every bill that
Yeah,
you
you-
got, every
I
check that you write out.
You do,
I
you
don't.
do for,
It makes you keep up with everything, and there's no checks that getting written without it. But whatever y'all think,
well, I can tell you that,
I
that
don't think you need
we,
it for
we use
reoccurring.
that, just like that at the school district that I work for. And I don't care if it's an electric bill or what, you know, they have PAs that they use for reoccurring charges, but it's still a PA. And
well,
it's still a paper trail that you have to attach all that stuff to
it's a
to
paper
just
trail.
cover
But like
yourself.
on this thing right here, if you get bills in a month, say you went to Home Depot or somewhere and you bought stuff, when you get that bill at the end of the month, whatever ticket you brought in, if you've had 5 or 6 tickets, that'd all be put on the same
Yeah.
requisition.
Well, see, that's perfect for stuff like that, because then they know what to charge it to, and that's great.
And for each month that you have one of these, you don't, you do it for the month. You don't do it, I mean, you put the tickets with it from everything, but it's, each month you'll have this and it'll be filled out for whatever category's on here. I mean, I don't see, I think you're dealing with a bunch of people here that don't know what a budget is. That's what I think. But I think you need this for every ticket that comes in here. Now, you may not need one of these for every individual ticket, but whatever's under that, I mean, that's why it's got lines down through here. Now, this budget request, change request, that's something that they shouldn't hardly ever use.
Yeah, not unless it's something that's just has to be done.
Okay, your requisition thing, do you fill it out before you go
No.
get your supplies?
No, no. When they go, when every ticket that comes in here, it should be coded as to whatever it is
Right,
on this,
right,
okay?
that's just written on
But
there.
you don't make one of these for every ticket I mean, you don't have to, this says purchase requisition, it's really not a purchase requisition
Well, that's what
as
I
per
was
se.
thinking, that you were filling it out before you went to
So-
get your, but you're saying you do it after.
Yeah, I mean, this is
So
to
it's
keep
not-
up with your tickets. If I had 10 tickets where I got building supplies in that month, I'd put those 10 tickets on this and fill it out. Now, next month, you get more tickets, you'll fill another one of these out, but you don't have to fill them out on every ticket. I don't know if I'm making myself clear on that.
So would you have one of those for each vendor or for each?
That would be
that
one
Would
vendor,
this be office supply? I mean, this would be like
Office Depot.
Office Depot.
Yeah,
And only stuff that's bought from Office Depot goes on this.
right. I mean, and you use the codes that he's got
Yeah,
on here.
it would have like code
I mean, you're not
1,
gonna
2,
use
3
that
for
form, but you
something, 3,
need.
4, 5 for something. Okay.
And then you have to have another one for like, say you went to, Home Depot and bought some supplies or whatever, or if you went to Walmart, or if you went to
So you have one
Sam's
for the
Club.
month for Home Depot, one for the month for Walmart. So you're gonna have one to the electric company with one
Every month.
entry in it every month.
Yes.
You-
With
That's why
trash,
we did it in school business, because you had to
you
keep
know,
up with
one
that stuff.
entry every month.
And it
Okay,
works.
I'm just,
Because, one reason is because you have so many people going out and buying stuff.
We don't have that issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think about it here as the city, they don't have that issue, they don't have, probably Sarah does 90% of the buying, and there might be somebody else that does 10%.
So far,
So-
it's been me 100%.
Yeah.
So what-
So-
But you got mileage and stuff, you've
Well,
got
but that's a different,
hotel. You know.
that's a different form, that would be an expense form
Yeah.
that she would fill out,
But
that
you-
wouldn't have anything to do with requisition.
But you have all your mileage listed for that month on one sheet of paper, still having.
Well, again, that's a different form. It would be a mileage reimbursement or expense reimbursement form, or something.
Do they
that's
pay you
in-
monthly on that, or is that
So
Weekly?
Gail has me do one each week,
weekly?
yeah.
That's what I thought from looking at all those sheets.
So
Like,
like,
that's the way it should be.
so like with the checks and everything that you do, what kind of backup do you have behind them?
What do you mean by backup?
Well, like when the council goes to sign the checks, get the two signatures, what kind of backup do you have for that, for each check that you do have?
Do you have like an invoice
Yeah,
behind
do you
you?
have an invoice?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have the
So
invoice.
They'll send me, like, from the lawyer people, I have their invoice that
Right,
says,
right.
pay this
Mhm.
much. Same thing from PVH, yeah, there's
Yeah.
an invoice.
So is that with is that with the check when they go to sign it so that they can look at it and go,
They're
okay?
usually paper clipped together,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I got us off.
No, that's
I
fine.
apologize.
Okay. Okay, okay, now, the next thing here is, that's the reason we have the discussion, so we can, everybody get on the same page. Okay, the next thing is actually, I went through 23, 24s, and that's the reason I had on your, the budget for 23, 24. I gave you a copy of it. It's on, I had it laying on the table.
Oh.
Yeah, there. The 23, 24 budget should be there. It was filed, those have to be filed with the county. That one was filed. Okay, so I went through that and took the figures off of it and actually filled in one of these blank forms for the fiscal year so you could see what the income and everything was on the different checks and what ad valorem taxes came in, what sales tax came in, what was available. Now, there were some discrepancies in it because first of all, in the proposed budget, they had put $102,000 grant money, but they didn't get, all they got was the 3,000 that we got from, Hot Cog towards the cleanup days that year. So, what was proposed, what was in the proposed budget in the audit, and what they actually got is listed there. And this was all taken from the 24 audit, which there's a page behind here showing that. I ran that page off, where I got the figures from. In fact, there's 2 pages in there. One of them's the end of year activities statement, and there's also a budget and actual general fund statement that I ran off and attached to that, so you can look at it and see. And you can see, like, the total budgeted, they had 392,000 budgeted proposed. What they actually spent was 283, so there's nearly over 100,000 difference in the budget and what they actually spent. And then the income,
That's a good thing.
well, a good thing, but their income was underestimated. They actually got more income than they, about nearly a little over $9,000. And that form that you got is the one that I did up when I was on the council, and they used it that year. Because I had it all broken down. It's not as detailed as this new one, but I learned through experience to learn things too, so, over the years. And the thing about this whole thing is, if you've got all this that they can look at every month, they can tell when they're getting to the point. It's like right now, selling these lights in here. Well, they don't have any money this year in this present budget for maintenance on the building. They didn't put no money in there. So they're gonna have to do a budget amendment to put Tuesday night, or next Thursday, to put some money in a building maintenance fund so they can buy light bulbs.
So have they been doing this budget amendment all along?
Well,
Yes?
yeah, we did it when I was on the council, because I kept up with it.
So that's nothing new?
No, it's nothing new.
That's fine. All right.
It's something.
That's all I want to know.
It's something you have to do. I mean,
Okay.
you do this all the time. I mean, not all the time, but it's pretty common.
You do it when you don't have money somewhere that you need
Need.
it. You take it from
Okay?
one bucket
So,
and
is there
move
any,
it somewhere else.
any questions on the 23-24? Now that was the income part of it. And I also, since I got the copy of the budget there, the proposed budget and stuff, well, I'll get to those later back here. Okay, and then the next section is that receivables for 24-25. And that, I went through all the receipts and everything and stuff, and that's listed out what came in where and how much. And if you looked at that proposed budget that's before you for that year, what happened on that thing, you can see right quick, the estimated expenditures were $753,000, and the revenue they were estimating was $191,000. So and it was kind of, you had an overestimate on expenditures and an underestimate because the actual funds brought in that year was, see if I can find it. There was a discrepancy in if you look at the audit. The audit, that's what I'm looking for. You look at the back here at the audit page, they took in $336,000. Now, keep in mind this, and back there I showed it. I took that $108,000 donation out.
I was gonna ask, what was that for?
That
I
was
mean,
for the land. It was counted as an income, and then it turned around and was counted as a expense, so to get a true picture of actually what was spent
Okay.
on other stuff, I took that out, but I've got it noted, in the budget thing back here. If you look at the last page of that budget sheet, I've got, actual 756,102 from the audit. That's what the audit had for a proposed budget, okay? And then the actual audit showed 470,02 as a total proposed budget. And then the receipts added up to 436,385. And then down below that, I added that 108 back in to that 436 because I'd taken it out. So this was actually, that 436,000 was actually a better picture of what was actually spent, okay? Because that kind of skewed, that donation kind of skewed that.
Yeah.
And then on proposed budget receivable, they showed on the proposed budget was 191,903. The audit actually was 336, but receipts was 236,020. When you just look at receipts,
Right.
take that donation out.
And the donation was the land for the city.
Yeah, the donation was.
City park.
Yeah, but I took it out because it made it look
Yeah, it should come out.
Yeah.
It's a separate thing.
Yeah.
It's not a regular routine.
team thing.
Yeah.
So, I said, I went back and then I went through these receipts and these are actual, most of them are accurate. There's a couple of them on here I'm not sure about, and I'll tell you about them and tell you why. Okay, chip and seal, we actually spent 99,000 on chip and seal. There was 12,640 spent on potholes, road patch, the cold patch and stuff. That's what they spent on that. And the crack seal, and then they had equipment and labor charges from the county for 582, and the county engineer was a check right for 1704. That check was a check written for reimbursement from the water company back to the city because they paid for what the road was damaged from that.
Right.
But none of this was showed when they were estimating or doing the proposed budget. Of course, they didn't know about the thing. All right, now, under city secretary, salary, and that's all three of them combined for the year. And I went, there's a folder in here with each one of them's pay stub in it and what they made and stuff. And it was 46,519. The payroll tax, when I added all that up, came out to 3420. That broke down into Social Security, Medicare, workman comp. I may be off on that because I got that out of the ledger, and the Texas unemployment tax, and I may have misread that, but that could be off. I'm not going to swear to those figures. But the total, when you add all this up, the actual city secretary payroll was 58,000 and something. But when you look at the audit page, I don't think it's showing that. You look back here at the audit thing, for the secretary. 46, they're showing
46,519.
46,519.
Well, it just depends on what he put in.
Well, and I don't know, that's what I'm saying.
But,
And I'm not saying anybody did anything wrong, what I'm just saying, if anybody got a question why there's a difference in the numbers, that's the reason. I don't know where they put all that stuff. And then under lodging, there was 129 mileage reimbursements, 3711, and then this $49 membership fee was a membership that Sarah got at Office Depot that you get a discount on your supplies, and it's already paid for. There's been enough discount to pay for that $49 several times. Okay, and your fees and dues, TML was $651. Now that is a fee they charge for being a member of that. And then the $200 for McLean County Appraisal District, that's what they charge for doing all the stuff they do. McLean County Tax Office, that's for them collecting taxes, because that's all broken down into by population and stuff and percentages. Florida Texas Council of Government was $1,268, and that one, no, it's not that. McLean County Health Department, it was $46.25. Next year, that's gonna go up, because they go up, on a 5-year period, they go up like 25 cents or 35 cents every year, and it's based on your population census, so next year it'll be more than that. Smart Buy was 100, the $60 was credit card late fees from bank and credit cards, and then the sales tax was $355 we paid the sales tax that we shouldn't have paid. And 268.07 of that I think we've gotten back so far. Don't know about the rest of it, whether we'll get it back or not. Elections, that's what the regular election costs, and that's the special election to do that petition. And then the insurance, and that's broken out, the cyber, and that's the reason a while ago, Vivian, when you asked about workman's comp, I don't know, I'll find out though.
Okay.
But these were insurances that they carried on us, okay? And of course, there's nothing in part because it's not in operation yet. And then your legal and professional, and I put a question back there about legal expense, litigation expenses, I don't know. I haven't seen any receipts or bills or anything on it. And then that 330, out of that 81.57, that's where that $330 overcharge came in at. So we haven't gotten that back, so, or whatever. And your accounting and
So
bookkeeping.
the bill was $30 and we paid $330?
No, the bill was we paid $2,500 and something dollars, and it was
Okay.
$2,100 and
The
something.
two numbers in the middle got flipped.
Okay.
Neither me, Gail, nobody noticed
Noticed
it,
it.
but he caught it, so I
Mhm.
sent it over to the attorney and he's
Okay. That was
working on
just-
that. But I do need to send him a message and get an update on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Just good.
I called it.
That's
the
easy.
bookkeeping side.
That can be done. So-
Well, one of the.
But that tells me that the person signing the check wasn't
not
paying
paying
attention
attention.
Well,
either.
They never looked at the bills, the council members
The
never
only,
looked at the
the
bills
only
or
reason
anything.
that I can say that is because that's part of my job where I work at, I sign activity checks. And I will tell you, and they will tell you too, I've turned checks away before and refused to sign them because they have a check request that's filled out, and if that amount and the invoice behind it, that amount don't match what is on that check, I won't sign it.
Yeah.
And I send it back, and then I've had sometimes when I've asked, okay, why is this amount different, because it may be off, a couple of dollars or some cents, they can't tell me, so I send it back, and then they find out, well, they made a mistake when they wrote it, and nobody caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
those things
and it
happen.
happens, but that's why you got safeguards in place, you got eyes on stuff, checking things, so.
And then the office expenses, I actually went through those receipts, and that's what the receipts for office supplies added up to, $1,466. Now, the reason that was on the audit at 7,000 something is because they threw a bunch of stuff in there that shouldn't have been in there. There was motel rooms in there, and meals, and some other stuff. Because there wasn't
That's what goes in that office supplies.
Huh?
That was the 7,000.
Yeah, and the reason for that was because they didn't have a thing in their budget. If you look at that 25, that budget for 24, 25 there, there wasn't anything in there for that. There was no category set up when they made the budget out to put any of that money in there. Just like this year, they didn't put anything in there for maintenance on the building.
I got a question, and this is kind of off. Okay, if they have to move the money, within the budget to make an amendment, that category that they're gonna move it to has to already be in there,
Yes.
right? They can't add a
No,
category.
they can't.
Okay, that's what I.
You can only add a category if it becomes an emergency.
Okay, okay.
And I guess, and I
So
don't-
we don't need to, and I ask that because then, like, a lot of these categories probably won't have anything in them, but we need to leave them in there.
Yes.
So if we have to move, if they have to move
And
money,
if you
then
look
they
at the
can.
financial reports that come out every month,
Mhm.
you'll see notes in there, delete it. Those shouldn't, I don't know why they're deleting those.
Yeah.
unless
But
somebody's
we should
telling
have
them
them
to
in the
leave.
B budget.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, do you have like a form or anything, like when you do a budget amendment, when you do have to go and move money from one place in that budget to another, do you have like a form that shows where you're moving it from and where you're moving it to?
Should have.
David makes a resolution,
Okay,
so I don't know
Does-
if that.
Well, the resolution should
counts.
show where you're moving it from
Yeah.
and where you're taking it to.
and
Yeah.
the only reason I say that is because that way it helps you to keep up with when that initial budget's passed. It helps you keep up with anything that's been moved. You can see a direct line moving it from here to this other bucket and stuff.
Also,
so
when
that
they
you know.
do that, they should do a amended budget thing and attach it to the original budget.
Yes.
Showing how much that fund was reduced.
Yes.
And how much this one was increased.
Yes,
Their law requires you
And-
to attach to
and
this
then
budget.
that way
They
that
need
amendment.
to attach the
Yeah.
resolution then.
and then I think you have to file that amendment with the county office too.
County clerk's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the one that they did do one,
Uh-huh.
and when this was passed and signed, I attached it to the end of, like, the budget after it was, amended, and then took it back to the county and gave it
filed
to them,
And
yeah.
does it show what bucket you moved it from to
The
what bucket you moved
resolution
it to?
does,
The resolution.
Okay.
yeah, so it says on here, $28 should be moved from the $50,000 allocation of the park budget to,
whatever.
wherever it goes.
Okay, then you got your maintenance, building, grounds, and then the culvert and driveways. And the utilities, and there's nothing in the city park because it's not in operation. Same thing with electric. The siren was 108, and I guess that's a contract that y'all have with the water, with the
Volunteer fire department.
volunteer fire department.
I know that, from my understanding, we basically like lease the land that the siren is on.
Like
And we just pay the
little
electric.
The little square or whatever.
Yeah, but it's not like, it doesn't cost anything, it's just
Okay.
for whatever
It's
reason.
like it does.
All we pay is, we pay the electric, and it's about $18 a month.
Okay.
And I don't know how accurate this telephone bill is because there was bills, I can show you the folders, there was late bills and bills not paid and that had
That's why they're on auto pay now.
well, it was a mess.
It was.
Well, the $907 for the telephone seems awfully cheap to me.
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
that's what I'm saying, I don't know how accurate that is because
Yeah.
I couldn't, when going through
I
those
mean, it
receipts,
just-
it was hard to make heads
You
or
know
tails out
what
of
it
it.
is,
So
Dick?
the phone was, at that time, about $70 a month,
Oh, okay.
but now I've found a new provider, now there was like a little startup cost, but it's $40 a month.
Okay, so it's
So
not as much as I
So
thought. it
even
was.
with you having that stuff on auto pay, do you go in there and like run copies off each month of the billing and stuff that's automatically paid and stick it in the vendor folder?
Yeah, so I have to send it, I historically kept them in the monthly financial folders. And I have to send all those to Gail too,
To record.
yes.
What should happen going forward, once we get this all organized, is like this month, March, they'll be doing February's bills. That's fine to keep that February folder together, but once those bills are paid, that
They
folder
put it
should
by
be
vendor.
put in the vendor's folder. And then you start your next month,
Yeah.
and at the end of that month, when the bills are paid, then she needs to go in and
File it with the
file,
vendor.
and there will be folders just like that set up. I'm gonna go through the 25, 26
And then that
stuff.
way you've
I
got it
just
by
hadn't got
month,
to.
by month, by vendor, by every month in there.
Yeah. So that, like right now, I've gone back several times to these things because I had a question to remind what was spent or what. I can go in there and pull those folders out just for that particular vendor and find it real quick. I don't have to go through 900 pieces of paper to find it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
just
that's
the only
the
way
way
I
we do
knew.
it, yeah.
I didn't know you could put in that way.
Okay, then the contracted services, clean up the dumpsters, tire disposal, and payment for overseer was $12,554. And tree removal, trimming was that biggie. And I only found receipts for about 40,000. I haven't found the rest of them. So, I don't know where they're at. They're not in that folder. Copier lease, digital scanning, website, town web, and I had a guy that he wanted to, because I was asking him about that. There's a bunch of stuff on that website that we paid that probably could have done without. It didn't need to be about half of that. There was some stuff added last year to be done when they upgraded that thing that didn't need to be done.
But was that a one-time fee
Well,
when they
yeah,
upgraded and we're not
but
paying
what,
anything?
our original contract with them was this. The first year, it was like about $2,000 something when they set it up.
Mhm,
And then the next year, it was like 1,300, the next year was around 1,300.
mhm.
There was a few dollars difference. So, usually what you do, that, we were paying around $1,300. The $2,000 charge, and I can go look it up, but
That was the one-time.
that was the
setup
one
fee.
time when they first set it up for it.
Mhm, that
But the
makes-
maintenance of it and stuff, but there's some duplication in that contract that they got for this 4,000 stuff that is covered in another part. For instance, they added that business director. And what do you need that for? You don't need that. There's no, I mean, most of those businesses that were listed on there,
We're not
They're not even,
Gholson.
yeah.
not even Gholson, okay?
They're in Elmont.
Elmont,
West,
First, we don't need that. That was about
It might be somebody that lives here though.
Well,
I mean,
but
it could be somebody that lives
who
in
goes in there to
Gholson.
the website and looks up businesses?
I don't.
You know, and then there was another one for $1,600. Guy told me, said, you didn't need that at all.
So someone just out of their, on their own went and did that?
Basically.
Okay, the city council doesn't have to be a
I
part
think
of
the
that?
city council approved the
The
business.
city council approved it,
The
but it was,
business
Okay,
director.
well, the
Mhm.
whole council approved it then?
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
yes,
all right.
they approved.
they
it.
approved it
Well,
on recommendation of somebody,
well, whatever,
okay?
but,
But I'm
They
just
all-
telling you,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yes.
telling you what a guy that's very knowledgeable about this stuff told me,
yeah. Well, that's
okay?
fine.
It's kinda like the scanning service. We could get that set up here in-house for about $1,200 and scan that stuff in, because they're not doing, what they are doing is not a records management plan.
How far have they gotten in scanning?
Well,
I'm
they
just-
had the initial cost was 19,000 and something,
Mhm.
then they charged 600 and something for that year too,
How many-
6,000 and
Yeah, how
something.
many years has? been
3 years,
spent?
they got, next year will be the last year of that contract.
I think she's asking how many documents have been scanned.
So what do they do?
They're just scanning stuff and putting it on the
Who
cloud or
sends it to
whatever.
them?
Huh?
You send them some paper and they
I don't
scan
know,
it?
how y'all getting that to them?
So well, this whole process started before I
Right.
came on, but from my understanding, there are a collection of, I guess, bankers boxes in that file closet or what have you. Probably about 12 of them, maybe a few more. All of those were sent off-site and they were scanned into a digital, like, system
Mhm.
where, you know, if those documents got burned or wet or
Right.
rained on or whatever, it wouldn't matter because they're all there in that
Mhm.
cloud.
You and I
guess,
have
but
talked
it's-
about this.
You know, you have to have a username and password. It's not like it's just online on the
Right.
internet for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you and I have talked about
And you're
this.
supposed to be able to retrieve them.
Yes, I can retrieve them. I can search the database.
I was
It's,
gonna say, is it, how
It
easy?
works.
How easy is it to retrieve them?
you have to know how to do it,
Okay.
like how to, you know, kind
Doesn't
of put in the
sound like
right
it's,
words.
doesn't sound like it's
Yeah.
real user-friendly or easy for you to do.
Yeah, well, I'm used to dealing with computers, so for me, it's not too hard.
Yeah,
There is a little bit of a learning curve, but once you know how to work it, then it is easy to work with. And then they also provided a device which I can use to scan in more documents to that particular system.
Oh,
So are
okay.
you scanning documents?
Well, I scan documents and send them to Gail and organize them on my computer, but as far as of like uploading them to that thing, I haven't really started on that yet because what it's looking like is that it's not gonna be something, now if I wanted to upload them, all I have to do is take them from my computer where they are, like organized and stuff, and just,
So what I'm
Put it on there,
getting is
like, I
that,
don't really use it too much, but it does have all of those documents that are in that closet, in the boxes, are
so it
digitized.
sounds like that
Is
we
that like
spend,
years 2000 to 2020
And, I mean, it goes
current,
back,
or
Till time the city started.
yeah, 1976
Okay.
something.
yeah, I mean, there's
that
not,
was in those 12 boxes?
yeah, whatever was, you know,
Okay.
So it sounds like we
Yeah.
spent all that money getting all that scanned in, the 12 boxes,
mhm.
but yet you're not using it because it's for all this stuff right now that you're sending to Gail, because it's not, is it not, is it not
Well, I can
something
see
that
it
you
not
need?
sending
This-
Well,
it.
I can put it in there,
I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, why do
but
we
they're
even
not gonna
have
continue
that
with it,
thing?
yeah.
And why continue with it if we're not gonna use it, because it's a waste of money doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I mean, I can understand getting, you know,
The
all
bulk
that
of it.
stuff somewhere, I get that.
Yeah.
And that, you need to do that, because, so you've got a backup somewhere.
Yeah,
But, I mean, if it's something that you're gonna always use this, or somebody will at some point, because this stuff has to be put somewhere, you know, but it needs to be where it's accessible and you can get to it and you're gonna actually use it instead of spending all that money for, I mean,
So this
I-
contract is up when?
I think you, next year,
What kind of,
Yeah.
very good discussion to have before the contract comes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Cause it's good that they got all those years,
yes.
may not continue.
that's,
Yeah.
that would.
And then my
exactly
next
my
question would
suggestion.
be, if you don't continue with them, are you gonna be able to have that data that they scanned in, or are they gonna hold it hostage because you're not with them anymore?
I've already, so the initial like dump of files that they did scan in, it's already on a flash drive that they
Okay,
provided.
okay.
you're
But
supposed,
then
they
they
can't keep that
charge
stuff.
a
Yeah, I was
fee.
gonna say they can't.
They can't keep it,
No.
no.
No,
But they may charge a fee to maintain that,
Doesn't matter
yeah,
at this point.
yeah.
yeah,
you've got-
but, you
Whatever
know,
it
once
takes
it's
to get out
scanned
of
in,
it.
they can charge an annual fee, they might charge an annual fee
Yeah,
to
Well, you're supposed to own that.
maintain,
I
just to
read the
maintain
contract.
it. So,
I read the contract,
We got time to cover that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just pointing it
That's
out
good,
right,
that's
right
good.
now, okay?
we get,
But every year it's over $6,000 for the next 2 years and stuff, okay? Okay, where was that? Okay, the pest control, and then the computer maintenance, that's with that down to earth. And how much does he actually come out here? The deal with him when he first started was he's supposed to come out here every month and check everything out, does he?
they have remote monitoring, software on this computer and the one that I use in there.
So he don't come out here.
No. But like if I had if I needed to call them, they would. I know that Molly had called them, a couple of times, and they would come out if they need to. When I initially came on, they were paying for 4 computers.
Well, I've got another question too I want to ask when you get through.
I've only ever used 2, so we got it down to 2, and then I kind of got with the guy and made sure that the software was up to date. And
Because I noticed in those bills, I kept seeing QuickBooks service, $100 and something. Been in there several times. When I looked through those receipts, is he charging us that 100 and something? Because he had $3,100 and it was $200 a month, so 200 times 12 is $2,400. So there's another extra 700 there. Is he charging us to upgrade the QuickBooks service? Because the bill was made out in his name.
QuickBooks is totally separate from Down to Earth.
Well, you look at the bills and it's got Down to Earth on it.
I don't know, I'd have to look at what you're talking about.
That's for,
But they
check out for the
do,
future.
QuickBooks is paid,
we don't have QuickBooks here, do we?
Gail uses
Gail uses
QuickBooks.
it, but that's because they use it there.
No,
Yeah,
we
so
had
we
it,
paid for it.
originally we had it ourselves because we had a secretary that was gonna do it. and she couldn't handle it. And so what happened was, I got Jay Langford was charged us $125 an hour. He would spend about 2 to 3 hours every month doing the QuickBooks and doing the financial report, okay? Well, he had got busy with his business. He has a shredding business and stuff, so he quit. And that's when we went with Kettlewell and Brown, because we didn't have anybody to do this. When we originally started with them, they actually had a CPA girl doing it for us. Well, she gets up all of a sudden and goes, takes a job at Baylor, and they dumped it over on Gail. Now, Gail has a CPA degree, but she's got an accountant degree, but she's not a CPA. Because I talked to her to find it, I asked her one day and stuff, but she's not an actual CPA. And so Gail's been doing it. But again, you've got to send good information to her so she knows where to put it. Otherwise, she's just gonna put it somewhere. Because she doesn't know, she doesn't know.
Yeah, this is gonna solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
That'll be history.
Yeah, it'd be history, but I'm just, that's the reason for doing this.
They will know exactly what category to put everything in.
And
And they won't have to guess.
no,
They think they may put it in the right place, but somebody else would put it in another place if they didn't have
Yeah.
a guideline.
and same thing with the auditor.
Yeah.
He'll know, he'll have a copy of this,
Should go.
and he can, all that'll mirror one another.
Yeah.
So people can understand what's going on. Okay, and then there's request for advertising, I've done covered that, and next link. And then the capital outlay, was a building, nothing was spent on capital outlay this past year, or in that year, 24-25. The equipment was a generator, the propane tank, and putting insulation in that building, that air conditioner out there, which
Yeah.
I don't
And
think
the
anybody.
generator, wasn't the generator COVID money? It was from COVID funds.
Yeah.
The
it came out of
generator
the-
itself was COVID funds.
Yeah, I understand that, but it was still money spent,
Yeah, but
okay?
it was COVID.
And then furniture, that $572 was a new refrigerator. That's what that was. Then your training, workshop fees were $735. That was for council and Holly. Holly didn't go, so they reimbursed us $245, I think, for that 700, but that shows up in reimbursements on the income. And then the meal, this $82 a meal, that was a breakfast Eddie had down at Round Rock or somewhere. And then the 504, I don't know exactly what that reimbursement was for, because there's nothing spelled out. And there's no, every motel bill that's in there is not an itemized, except Sarah's. I'll take that back. Sarah's, the one I got on her is. But all those other ones is just a piece of paper, it's pink or orange, that shows X number of dollars. It's not broken down to what the room was, what the city tax was, what the sales tax was, or anything. There's no bills in there that he went to that has that broken down. And that, anytime you go to a motel, you're gonna get that. You're not gonna get what was turned in. So I put the 504 in the travel reimbursement. He didn't have any travel sheets, but I don't know where, I stuck it there and thought I could explain to y'all why it was there. I didn't know where to put it because I had nothing to go by. Couldn't find anything. And then there's nothing under the rest of it. Interlocal agreement, the 20,000, and I got those backwards. That 20,000 should be on West EMS and the 5 on I said I got them back.
But the 20,000 caught us up for several years, wasn't it?
Well,
Wasn't it
what-
some past
What happened was,
or something?
what
or
happened
they thought
was,
they wanted
they didn't do anything for a couple of years.
years. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought. I just
And we were
wondered.
using COVID money to do that, because that could be used, that COVID money could be used to do that. And stuff, but, and I said, I've got those backwards, that's my fault. Didn't catch that. Okay, community services, city park, and that should be, that line should be up there under community services. I need to move that up. I messed up that. That 3489 should be up under community services. Shouldn't be in that. I need to add another line in there. Okay? And another one of my mess ups. I'm surprised I haven't messed up more than that. Dealing with.
You did great.
Okay, Gholson Fest was 3489. There was 1900 spent on entertainment. And again, there was no invoices in there for that. It was just checks and stuff.
I can see no invoices from.
And the porta potty, they had a $200 deposit. Didn't ever find anything where those porta potties cost more than 200. Did they or not?
I mean, I would have to look through, but I don't think so.
There was a deposit for it, but that was it.
That was like right before I came in, so it's kinda.
I didn't find any other receipt on it.
I think it's
The rentals was
I got
for,
a thing on entertainment,
huh?
entertainment. You know, it's being a guy that played in bands,
Mhm.
we don't carry an invoice book
Right,
around when
that's
we
what
get
I
paid.
was saying.
But they should
But,
have,
so whatever paperwork, it's, the
been
city
signed.
would give them. We don't take that stuff.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's, a band's not
Yeah.
gonna have an invoice.
Yeah.
So, I'm like you.
okay, next.
Anyway, the rentals was for two things they rented. One was from Astro Jump and another one was from somewhere else. Two pieces of
Like bounce house.
bounce
or
houses or something.
something, okay.
The insurance was $264, that they had to have insurance on that. And then the security was $450. So that was everything I got out of the receipts, what I could find.
So basically, we're gonna take what you found,
Mm-hmm.
put it in that and come up with a number. We'll probably go down these line at a time. Some of them will be real easy,
Right.
some of them might be a little bit of discussion.
Yeah.
And we'll actually fill it out and see what
And
we
that, and
like.
you can do one for 23, 24.
We don't need.
Well, I'm just saying, cause you mentioned something, Vivian, about looking back at 3 years' budgets. That's the reason I did what I did, okay?
But we can look at the paper though, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can look at the
Let's put the
paper.
number
Those are
there.
there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
that's the reason I'm gonna do 25, 26 and stuff, so we got 23, 24 to look at. You got 24, 25 to look at,
Yeah.
and 25, 26.
okay,
And we've got something to base
yeah, a
a
number.
judgment on, of, hey, how much money do we
Yeah,
need to
'cause
put?
there's some in here, I think, well, I mean, I'd start with that evil thing of tree removal
Yeah.
and trimming.
You wanna talk about that a second? Do we have vendors that do that? Approved vendors to cut trees?
Well, they had this,
Should be yes.
We had, there was a,
guy,
They had a
Groom.
contract with one guy, and exclusively, and he supposedly did emergency tree removal at a drop of a hat, but we have
But,
trees cut down all the time, I'm cold. Trees cut down all the time at the cemetery, and
Yes.
we don't even come close to spending that kind of money. We'd
now
be
that should
broke if
something
we
for the
did.
trees. You should have 3 vendors that'll cut down trees, come on. You
Well,
well,
know?
right now, the deal they got going, Bucky
uh-huh.
is going and cutting up the trees, and he's just hiring somebody every once in a while to come through town and pick all the pieces up and haul them off.
Well, my thing is, I don't think the city is responsible for the trees, because trees are on somebody's property
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
falls. The city,
There's a
at the
few trees
most,
there are a few trees that are on the city's right of way, not many. Most
Okay.
of them, most
If
of
they're
them.
on city's right of way, but if there's somebody's property, yes, maybe the city is responsible for moving it from the road
From the road.
so people can get by,
Right.
but it ends there. I don't think the city is responsible for cutting it up or having it hauled off,
They've never
or,
done it before.
I've cut trees on my place for years and nobody's ever refunded me or
Yeah.
even come
Can
to
you help you
that.
out? Yeah.
well, I can tell you, I
Well,
pay
the
for
only
my
thing I can
trees,
see
I don't
is
have
like,
trees.
Like
Didn't
if
I
it's
hear
in the,
something
like
about-
if it falls in the road and it's
Yeah.
blocking the
But
road,
I
I can
think
see
we-
or if
it.
it's hitting the school bus, I could see trim that back, you
Yeah.
know, if they
Well,
want
I think-
kids in a bus.
But not
Getting hit by
doing
it.
ongoing tree removal,
But
that's
if-
not.
No.
That's
Okay,
not the
anyway, that's-
city's responsibility, but
If you're
I,
gonna do it, if you're gonna
Okay.
spend any money at all, I mean, you need to have 1 or 2 guys that'll do it and have
Yeah.
this understanding how much it's gonna be.
yeah. Well, let me say, that loud noise you hear is me putting up my soapbox on
Okay.
that, on that subject. I will put my soapbox
Okay.
up.
Now, these legal sheets that I've got here, you know, I gave y'all a whole stack of them earlier. This is, all those sheets that you've got like this has every figure, check numbers, dates of receipts and everything on it. So as I was going through it, so I could kind of organize it, I took and wrote this stuff down, like, and stuff. So that's just the backup to what I put on here. Okay?
Good job, Billy.
Good job, Billy.
Very
So,
We
good.
got
thank you.
numbers to go by.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you can't just haul off and pull numbers out of thin air.
No.
Well, some
I
of
would
those are
think
gonna be easy,
for-
some of
and,
them, year to year, even though it has a category, there's no previous years that they used the right numbers in the category to
Categories
start
to start.
with.
Yeah.
So it'll just be a guess on a lot of them. A lot of them will be easy. Yep.
And I would think we would have to ask Bucky about the tree removal, because he's handling that. Same way with whoever's handling the roads, you know, because we budgeted for road stuff before.
Okay.
Some of it's we paid for and
So that kind of brings the end of all our discussion there. So I guess we're ready to act on stuff.
Well, wait a minute, we got to discuss if we're gonna have a meeting in April.
Oh, okay, yeah. You got,
I don't know if we need to or
like I
not.
said, I haven't gone through the 25, 26 stuff yet. I'm going to. I'm fixing to start in on it and stuff probably next week or end of next week. Looking at, it'll only be like for, I'll have October, November, December, January, February, after the March, February.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have 5 months that I can look at, and then I'll keep probably a running sheet on it so that I can do until we get ready to act. We need to start actually working on putting a budget together probably in late May, June.
When does it have to be done?
Well, by the end of July, probably the last week or next to last week of July, they need to be able, the council needs, we need to be able to sit down with the council and go over this thing and make our recommendations. And they're gonna have to do their deal. They'll put the budget together. They may use what we give them, I don't know, okay? They will give it to Sarah. At that point in time, it's filed, okay? She'll put it on the website, okay? You can't go back and be changing stuff like they've done year after year, the last several years. They come in and get, I've got 5 different budgets one year that they did. They kept changing it. Because once you file it with her, it's set in stone as far as the clock running on what you gotta do and when you gotta do it. If you go back in there and start changing stuff, then you gotta start all over. And that was my argument, was you can't be changing this stuff in the middle of the stream. So once they say, okay, this is what we're gonna go with, she'll file it. Okay? You cannot set a tax rate until 30 days after it's been filed.
Okay.
Okay? You cannot have a budget hearing until 15 days after it's filed.
Okay.
Now, what you gotta do though, 10 days prior, and then we'll do a calendar up for them. 10 days before you have your budget hearing, you've got to have a notice, at least 10 days, a notice in West News saying, Gholson's gonna have a budget hearing. Okay? Now, because it's a weekly paper, you actually have to publish it 2 weeks, 14 days ahead of time because of the
Right.
deal,
And
okay?
that's the only paper we have
Yeah,
to put it
okay.
in.
Now, since we're a small taxing unit, you only have to publish the taxing notice 7 days prior. But again, because of the way things fall, you've got to basically put it in there 2 weeks ahead of time. And that is put in there by the county tax office. They actually do that with us and put it in there. It's just a short little, because you're a small taxing unit. Now, not until the end of July will MCAD have out, they'll have their preliminary values. And that's what they based that budget on last year, was the preliminary values. You don't want to use those, because at the end of July, about a week before the end of the month, till the end of the month, they will put out a certified thing. And it may change, it can go up. Last year it went up. The year before it went down. But you want to see that certified, and I will be in contact with that guy at MCAD. I will know what the certified value is going to be. I will call them. and nobody may not like it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. They still send me all the stuff anyway. I'm on their email list. Anytime they do anything down there, I know about it and stuff, so. But we want that certified value. Then at that point in time, once that certified value comes out, the county tax office will put out a worksheet calculation for what your no new tax revenue is, what the most you can go up. It's several pages and it's real confusing to try to look at. I mean, I usually go down and talk to Tammy Welker and get her to walk me through it because it is confusing because they got all kinds of numbers are floating around, different tax rates and all this mess. So I usually go down there and talk to her and have her walk me through it because they have in there what's called new construction, and it's separated out and stuff, and it's a whole. If you hadn't dealt with it, you don't know. So I just go down there and sit down with her. Hey, walk me through this. Tell me what it is and stuff. Either her or Paul later. I go see one or the other. But I will be in contact with the guy at MCAD, and I will call TML and find out what the rates on insurance are going to be before we start doing the budget to get at least a ballpark figure and stuff on it.
She said, gonna be more.
Well, they'll probably go up some. I'm sure our liability insurance is going to go up because of lawsuits.
Yeah, it will.
I mean, you can just plan on that.
Yeah, our general liability
Yeah.
to cover that?
Yeah.
We're like,
Well,
we call it.
not, actually, it may not go up this year because, that much because it hasn't been settled.
Well, it's
And
supposed to
has there been a claim filed on the insurance for the lawsuit?
I don't know. Has there been a
So
claim
if there
filed on
hasn't
the
been a
insurance
claim
there?
Not
filed,
that I'm aware of.
so if there hasn't been a claim filed, it might not go up that much this year,
Yeah,
but.
one year
next
it's going, one year it's gonna go up.
That's if the insurance pays it, because if we're at fault, they may not do that.
Well, that's when they should pay it.
Well, they should, but
Yeah, that's
You
when,
know how
that's what the
insurance companies are. If they
insurance is.
find a way out of doing something, they're
Oh,
gonna do
yeah,
it.
they may have to argue with them, but, you know, like, we have what we call employment practice. And that's so if, for some reason, say, you didn't get signed up for health insurance on time, but then you had a major health issue, then our employment practice would come in and pay for that claim.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All
And
right.
that's kind of what the liability
So what are we
is.
gonna do about April?
April meeting. April the
So-
9th would be the first meeting that we would have, but I don't know, do we need to meet in April or?
I don't know. That's up to y'all.
Well, I don't, it seems to me like the next thing we get together, we can start putting numbers together.
Mhm.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. Well,
maybe
we
some
can
we
wait
have
and
to
make
skip.
it May. We can skip April if y'all want to.
Y'all wanna do that?
That's
So, I
up to
mean,
y'all.
I mean, am I wrong? We're gonna start looking at previous data,
Mhm.
go line by line.
Yeah, I
put
just need to
numbers
get,
in and-
I just need to get the data put together for
Yeah.
26.
And if you didn't get it all
25.
together, that's no big deal too. We could come up with a number. Whatever you have would be great. And that would, if you do it in, what, May?
In May, the first date would be May 7th is a Thursday.
And we have to get done
That's the
then.
second Thursday?
Oh, no, the 14th.
When did it have to be done by?
Well, it needs to be, need to have a budget to show to the council
Yeah.
but towards the end of July because
Okay, the
that,
end of
what the
July.
county wants a tax rate before September 1.
Okay, okay.
So-
Yeah,
And you've got those time periods in there that you gotta
July,
fill, so you gotta plan ahead of time.
But July, if you don't have to have it till July, then you only got 1 month to get it to the county by September
The
first.
Yeah.
second Thursday in May would be the
So I would
14th.
think we'd want to have ours done at least by June.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking.
I figured 2 sessions, we could probably put all the numbers in,
I do too.
maybe 1. Some of them are gonna take a little discussion.
So,
So,
I
I mean, that's all I'm looking at. How many,
do y'all want to have a meeting in April?
I would.
if we start putting numbers
Numbers
in,
in.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am too. And I like
We
language.
can start discussing numbers.
Well, we can put them in.
We
yeah.
can put them in.
More,
'cause
we can do
then-
more than discuss them.
Yeah,
I mean, we can discuss them and then put them in.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then the next meeting, we may need to
Now,
revise,
the
do
tax,
some revisions.
the tax numbers won't be able to, the
Right,
income,
so
some of
that's
the
fine.
income.
We have a lot to work on.
Yeah,
before
yeah,
we-
yeah, but I'm just saying,
If we're
so
gonna
you're
spend-
aware that,
That would be one we wouldn't discuss that.
yeah,
So y'all want to have one April the 9th at 6?
is that the second Thursday?
That's the second
Okay.
Thursday in April.
As far as I know, yeah.
That's up to y'all.
Works for me.
That's fine, we're gonna have X amount of hours to put this together.
Okay.
It doesn't matter when, and I don't think we're doing it too early for the majority of
Well,
stuff that's going in there.
This has been a problem for years, they wait to the last minute.
Well,
and
we're
then
not
they get-
waiting till the
No,
last
and we're not gonna wait.
That's why we're doing
Yeah.
this.
And do
Well,
it
that's
April.
why, let's don't have discussion, let's have discussion and put the number in. Done deal, next line.
Cause I'm like you, a lot of them we can fill in. They're gonna be.
Utilities, I mean, I'd say
Salaries,
75% of them are gonna go in.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I'm in that 80-20 group.
I'm an 80-20
person.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's strictly, I'll leave that up to y'all when you want to meet.
So
again.
April the 9th at 6 o'clock,
Okay.
okay, in April, okay?
And we'll come prepared to put numbers in.
Okay.
I was hoping that Bucky and maybe Holly would come to this and listen in on it so they kinda know what's going on, but undoubtedly.
Well, I text him.
I texted her too, but
No, I
so they
texted
know.
him.
Do me a favor, would you print those?
Okay, now you go to action items.
Okay, we ready to go to action items?
Sure.
I'll wait till he gets through.
You wanna print each one printed?
Go file, top left, plan. And, what's that? Okay, this comes, so
This
just
is what my life's
print that, a copy.
I
And
know.
then you go to the next sheet
I've got
and
all
do
these
the same thing.
deadlines and
Yeah.
stuff at work. So, the only month I don't have
Yeah,
any
just print it.
deadlines is April.
Can you print, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies?
Yeah, I'll make a copy of it. You
I've
want
got that.
I was
Yeah, I
looking
need
at
that.
them. I had
And I just,
one
so
for
then
my
what,
sisters and my niece today. And
Okay,
they're like,
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time, I don't have every time to work, cause I feel that hole.
Okay. First action item is consider an act upon adopting template for funds receivable. So you've seen it, we've gone over it, so what's your pleasure?
You want a motion?
Yeah, need somebody to move to,
I move that we adopt the template
And I second it.
as presented.
okay,
I
moved
second it.
by Vivian to accept the template, and
I second
seconded by Melissa Teal, okay, all in favor? 5-0, approved. Okay, next item, consider an act upon adopting template for fiscal year budget, which is the one that had the numbers in it.
You want that same motion? I
Yeah,
move that
yeah,
we
move to do
And
that
I'll,
one.
and I'll second it.
Okay,
accept the template. I
Any
think the
discussion?
templates are good.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's carried. Okay, receive committee members' request for items for next meeting.
Anybody got anything that,
How would you put enter data, start entering?
Yeah.
Start entering numbers, okay?
Yeah.
And I'll try to have, I'll try to have all the data together.
Whatever we have, we'll make a good
Yeah.
decision.
Okay. Anything else, anybody? Go to take, move at 7:25, and somebody to move to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion by Melissa Teal to adjourn,
Second.
second by Vivian, all in favor? Thank y'all.
Thank you.
She, printed out what that actually looks like
Okay,
on paper,
okay, good.
so y'all can have a copy.
Yeah,
So if there's anything you wanna change,
yeah, well, if there's, I like some arrows I've got in there, like I told
that's
you.
fine.
I want you to be proud of
You
me,
can
cause
pencil on
over the
Yeah.
weekend I worked and caught up the
She printed
county.
It's an easy
I
deal.
was like, oh.
Well, on yours, we won't have to move anything, on mine, I would've. On yours, we can just move it in the column.
Yeah.
Which column we go in?
I think I got everything updated for new papers to be put up at the sign.
Did you?
I
Okay.
think I got them all, except Kathleen.
Yeah.
I don't have her on there.
Yeah.
And her husband's name was
I've got it.
Who?
They sent, Aderholm sent me, yeah, who,
Joe, is that his name? What was his
I think
name?
it's Jim, is it, why do I think it's Jim? I don't know
Jim
why.
is, I
Let me
think it's a J.
Let me look in, I've got it on my,
Okay, then just
I got it on a
text me, 'cause
text
I do need
message.
to add
Yes.
her.
He's there.
And I might have it.
Did Ada Holt send you that, check
Yes, I got a check.
for him?
Uh-huh. It was 800 for both of them.
We'll get to this later on, but we'll start making. I'm Okay, put all my stuff back in my box. That goes there. That goes there.
You did a good job at the cemetery, Bill.
Thank
It
you.
looked real
Well, it needed to be done, and I got some more, it'll take time to get it finished up.
good. Well, what we got done looks real
And
good,
stuff.
so.
I tell you what, we're gonna have more sand than we use, so I got a guy, I wanted some at my house,
Mhm,
so I got a guy, this Bevins guy over here has a little dump trailer,
mhm.
and I gave him a load, and he brought me a load up to the house, and Joanne said, well, somebody's gonna start fussing about you taking sand. I said, let them just go there. That ain't gonna turn out well for them. I said, I'm up there spending my time, my money on fuel and my tractor, and they won't start fussing about that, that ain't gonna go well for
Oh, somebody, you know,
them. Well, but I'm just saying,
I know what you mean.
well, she mentioned a certain person was gonna,
Well,
and
I know what you
and I told her, I said,
mean.
just let him go there, let him go there.
There's got to be one not happy, so, you
But
know,
I
we've
said,
had
I've
it before, so.
been up there spending my
And
time.
thank you for doing that sand, that dirt that was brought in.
Well,
I appreciate that, because it really, it
well,
bothered me.
David Walker actually came up there, he was gonna help me. But he brought his big tractor up there and like a beard. And then he tried to spread the dirt, and he finally decided he didn't know how to do it. So he just he came up to the house one day and said, you do a lot better job than I do.
It may have done like 2 sets of those.
It would be nice if we could have somebody else.
Yeah, but he did,
Because,
you know,
you know, we don't want to
But if
also.
you need
I wanna
more,
turn on any
just like
free
run
help,
back
I
to the
mean.
machine.
I'm not, I'm like you, but we don't need to wear you out
If there was an
either.
error.
well, I'm doing it at my own speed.
It might have double
You
printed one of
did.
them.
Uh-huh, right, we were thinking,
Come up to this, look at it.
yeah, that's what
I'm trying to pay somebody to do it.
You know,
No,
Vivian,
you don't do it.
I know you've got a lot of kinfolk up. Hardy's got a whole bunch of people paired up there. And you know, the Rosses and the pies and stuff,